What's good, YouTube? It's about to in the building, back with another banger. And today we're gonna be reacting to steroids are making these kids age like milk. Now, as an avid gym goer myself, I do not believe in that, steroid use and all that bullshit. I don't believe in that. You feel me? Just go to the gym if you want a healthy body, lift, do what you gotta do, and go back home. Rinse and repeat. You know what I'm saying? Do the same shit. I don't see why people want gains like super mass monster type gains, man. But hey, that's them. With that being said, let's get straight to the video. Let's do it.
Disclaimer, this video is educational and informative in nature. Do not contact anyone shown in this video. Also, this video is discussing steroids. Do not use steroids. This is entirely for educational and entertainment purposes only.
One of the most obvious signs of steroid abuse within anybody, male, female, or whatever you are in between, is aging. You have such a drastic amount of premature aging. Clavvicular is somebody who's really popular in a lot of different headlines and titles right now. And a lot of what he did to Looksmaxxing was prematurely age himself using steroids from the age of potentially 14 years old upwards, based on his postings on several different forums. I think most people would agree that basically Clavvicular looks a lot older than 19 years old, and that's part of the reason that he has Looksmaxxed, because he looks 25, maturated as a male. Now, for him, it may have visually worked out, at least for now, positively. But for most people, this is not the case. And we've done a lot of different case studies on this channel where we talk directly about the aging and steroid use and how common and really a big problem that it is. We've shown my transformation from being on steroids in bodybuilding to getting off of them and just sort of doing this whole influencer thing, I guess, and how drastic that change really is. We've also showed other influencers, Vigorous Steve being one that I think a lot of people can relate with, because he's kind of an older age, trying to be a dad now, and so he started to phase out of the bodybuilding crazy lifestyle and looks a lot better for it.
Man, look, I'll say for myself personally, I'm more of like a calisthenic, whatever, however you say that shit. I'm probably saying that shit wrong. The way I be saying that shit but it's calisthenic, right? Anyways, look, I am more of that type of guy. Pull-ups, weighted pull-ups, dips, muscle-ups, stuff like that, L-sits, learning a couple skills, things like that, mixed in with like weightlifting. I don't take anything, just protein powder and what? Probably some creatine if I have some. You know what I'm saying? Like, it won't be nothing crazy. I'll pop a C4 if I really don't have energy that day. But that's what a caffeine addiction is, bro. Do not, if your energy levels are naturally high, bro, you don't need to take no C4s, no energy drinks, bro. Don't even do it, bro. Right now, my energy level be low, and that's probably because I be relying too much on a C4 to get through my workouts. But I do need to get that fix situated.
But what about young guys just hopping on? Well, you see this actually a lot on Reddit. People posting their before and afters of their first or second cycle and asking for people's opinions. And there's genuinely no better place for that these days, this type of degeneracy, other than Derek More Plates, More Dates subreddit, which is somehow wildly active. It's about the only subreddit that I ever go on anymore, because it's well, I'll be honest, it's disgusting and toxic as hell, but that's kind of why I'm on there. It's very incel. We're for it. Back like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, peak Derek times, there actually used to be a subreddit called r/steroids, and it's been heavily redacted and censored now, and I really miss that subreddit because it was so great. You basically had a bunch of people pretending to be professionals, talking about what they were doing, and as well posting their stories about using steroids. And my genuine pastime was to just go through these stories and look at how people were fucking themselves up and say, wow, I'm glad I'm not doing that.
I can't sacrifice my shit.
Hop back on Reddit and look at some of these stories that people are telling. This guy posts brutal premature aging from steroids. And now, I don't think this is actually posting about it, but he is definitely sharing people who have shared their before and afters of steroid cycles before. And you can definitely see the guy here looks drastically older, like drastically older. Does he have a better physique? Sure, but at what cost though? Like
your life.
Completely whacked back the hairline. We've grown an entire new forehead, so there's like this duality of foreheads on his actual head. Yeah,
this is like the
muscle, but he looks.
This is like this is the male version of what certain women be doing. You know how when they be doing the lip injections and shit like, excuse me, y'all, excuse me. But when certain girls be doing that lip injection, fillers to the face, BBLs, this is basically the same thing but for males. This is horrid. This is horrible. Like, for example, what's her name? Jenna Ortega. Fucked herself up. You know what I'm saying? Just for the look that everybody is doing, the little Bratz Barbie doll look with the weird big lips and the shit's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. Stop that shit. That shit's not good at all.
About literally 10 to 15 years older. Literally,
this is no better.
Older. Same mirror, same gym, same guy, just looking diabolically eviscerated.
I would prefer the left anyways.
Here we have another guy, same kind of situation.
Left.
Started out genuinely sick physique for most people, right? Like something that I think most people
would got an 8-pack.
The guy has a gifted 8-pack at a starting point. He spawned with this, which is sick. And then he hopped on the Sazul, and of course, later on, you don't look so great. He don't look so great. Now, again, does have a sick physique. Don't want to take that away from a guy. Yeah. That's a great component of life, but it's not the only component of life. And oftentimes
50.
when you walk down this path for long enough, it starts to become the only thing that you're actually thinking about.
Not say 50, but like 30s, late 30s.
Society pushing steroids to the youth very quickly, especially in an algorithmic sense, right? It's like social media platforms just push all of like the Tojis out there to young kids, telling them, hey, let's blast gear. And I'm not like some conspirator or anything. Like, this is actually happening. It's not some crazy stuff to talk about, really. But in this post, I think he's trying to help people out and explain some things that you can do to avoid premature aging and as well using steroids. Let's just take a little bit of a look at what he has to say. He says, avoid DHT orals and trend like the plague, except maybe Anavar. These synthetic androgens that the body doesn't recognize cause tremendous oxidative stress, which increase cellular aging, not to mention damaging to your organs. That's kind of not true, but also true. Every androgen at a super physiological dose is going to cause oxidative stress and increased cell turnover, which is really the big problem here. He is correct to say that DHTs can age you, but again, just as well can any androgen. The thing with DHTs, dihydrotestosterone,
these folks are sacrificing.
So to give you a brief background on what this really means, dihydrotestosterone is a 5-alpha reduced, which is the 5-alpha reductase enzyme, cleaves up testosterone and then makes dihydrotestosterone by changing its carbon chain. What scientists did to find an androgen that they can use for therapeutic purposes for females and young children was take that DHT molecule and cleave it up some more and try to make something that's a little bit more user-friendly and not going to lead to so many androgenic side effects. Well, fast forward a couple years, it gets put into circulation and used in humans. Turns out it doesn't work so great for that specific use case, and so they stop the production and manufacturing of these things and the approval for human use, and lost to space they are, except bodybuilders have sort of gotten them back from the underground, literally, and abused them. Now, uniquely, dihydrotestosterone derivatives seem to impact estrogen very potently. Masteron, primobolan, they seem to decrease total estrogen, and when that happens, you do lose a lot of collagen synthesis, a lot of antioxidant status in your body. Estrogen, believe it or not, is a very powerful antioxidant and something that I think most people should try to encourage being at normal physiological levels versus smashing down, which is very common practice within bodybuilding and general enthusiasts trying to enhance their physiques.
Horrible.
Why? Well, elevated estrogen typically leads to, oh boy, we're getting in the weeds here, influencing the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, which increases extracellular water retention, making essentially you not look as sick in the mirror. So, you know, people try to bring it down as much as possible. In exchange for that, you do end up looking quite a bit older. And we've talked about this a lot actually with females and males, because females will use androgens, shut down hormonal production, but not kind of backload any form of estrogenic compounds to increase estrogen in their body. They'll basically just mainline a DHT.
Bro, this is bad, bro. This is bad on both ends. Why would you want to do this? That shit don't even look like something you would want to put inside of yourself. You're injecting shit like this into you. Like, you're just, you know what I'm saying, to get that forward. Oh my God, I want to get buff as shit. You know, type of vibe. Like, that shit's not it, bro. That shit's not it. This workout. Like, why do people always want to take shit to the extreme? I want to see how far my body can go. Like, why? It's like, bro, you can do that off the gears, off the whatever steroid uses you're using. You can do that all without all that. Push yourself. This is what your body can go. This is how far your body can go without using that. At that point, you're not seeing how far your body can really go for real. You're just killing yourself. That's all you're doing. You're killing yourself from the inside out. That's basically all you're doing. You're not like, and that shit don't even count to me. You have to use some type of help to push yourself to the limit. No. Do that shit naturally, bro.
HT without any testosterone, shutting down their ovarian access, and then, you know, voiding their body of any estrogen, whilst also sometimes taking
they swole though. They swole the fuck.
Modulators, just again perpetuating the sort of aging and detriments of taking anabolic steroids. He also mentioned some of these androgens also directly degrade collagen and elastin in the skin. Just take a look at Todd Lee, who loves Mastron. He went from looking quite handsome a few years ago to looking like a microwaved bullfrog nowadays. That's crazy. So me and Todd Lee are friends, but I think he does kind of have a point here. This is Todd Lee. A microwave bullfrog is definitely a strong choice of words. This video is quite some time ago. He does look younger, of course. Is he, you know, reversing the bullfrog microwave aesthetic here? Probably not. I think he's, you know, he kind of looks like how he looks, and that's just Todd for you. But an interesting take nonetheless. He is right, though. We've covered this in many different videos. He's absolutely right. I mean, every androgen receptor activation beyond some super physiological amount is going to cause premature aging. You're basically pushing cells into overdrive, right? Accelerating molecular aging at a very fast pace. Androgens generally increase mitochondrial activity, good in the sense of performance, bad in the sense of, you know, longevity, because the higher amounts of metabolic rate really increases reactive oxygen species, and this is inevitably what creates unstable molecules that damage DNA, RNA, leading to problematic cells. It is, in fact, one of the most critical features of biological aging. You having reactive oxygen species, damage to RNA, DNA, so on and so forth. The pathway continues, you know, you get fucked. But then you also have the issue with telomeres, right? And so telomeres are basically, just consider it like a strand of DNA. And every time a cell divides, it gets a little bit shorter and a little bit shorter because it donates part of itself to that new cell. And when you get to an endpoint, right, you've shortened that telomere by so much, it can't continue to divide. And so you're left with this like old raggedy ass cell that is defective most likely and probably not healthy to have around your body, but it represents itself in dysfunctional organs. Your skin is a very large organ. Then again, you have the problem with estrogen. This directly is usually going to be tied with androgen use in a lot of individuals. Lower estrogen is gonna just can wreak havoc, brother. Like, you're gonna lose collagen synthesis, you're gonna have a thinning of the skin, it changes fat patterning quite significantly, so you actually lose a substantial amount of fat in your face, and it can lead to like these nasal folds that I have from bodybuilding, quite literally, and other things too. So just not all around not good. He says, unless you're a competitive bodybuilder, stick to tests. There is no point of training muscles for your youth indicators. Test only and maybe Anavar is all you'll ever need. This is a tried and true fitness model stack that keeps your sex appeal without destroying your looks. Most of the juicers here do it for recreational purposes. You can accompany all of your physique goals with test alone. You'll also get the benefits of high tests like sex drive, EQ, I don't know what he's referring to there, emotional quality, I don't know, cognition, and motivation without the bullshit side effects typically associated with steroid use. He makes a very bold claim. Testosterone is actually the safest steroid by far and isn't even close. As long as you keep your blood pressure and blood work in check, test is very safe. Alcohol and cigarettes are 100 times more dangerous than test at 300 milligrams. Bioidentical cycles plus 5-alpha reductase inhibitors for hair loss is literally all you'll ever need. Also, never crash your estrogen. Estrogen actually stimulates both collagen and elastin synthesis in your skin and tendons and is more neuroprotective. Estrogen, when in range, of course, keeps your skin looking youthful, while an exogenous testosterone. Yeah, I mean, he's absolutely correct. You guys hear me say this in almost every single video. Testosterone, if you're going to have to use steroids to accomplish your goals, which 99.95% of people don't actually want to be an open bodybuilder. They don't want to be in classic physique. They probably just want to look really, really good to the average person. Yeah, you only really need testosterone ever for that kind of thing. And then what's really great about that is we know the end fates of testosterone, right? Like, I wouldn't say it's healthier. It's just that we know how to mitigate the side effects from testosterone because we've been studying it for almost 10 decades at this point, and that's information that we don't have with any other androgen. So yeah, we know how to manage estrogen, we know how to manage dihydrotestosterone and prevent, you know, hair follicle miniaturization quite easily. But what we can't do is control for synthetic androgens, which we don't have a lot of mechanistic data on, and we can't control for certain things that there aren't drugs to control for, like the metabolites of some of those drugs. It's almost 9 times out of 10, if you had to use some kind of steroid, better to use testosterone, hands down, at a very low to moderate dose. I'm not saying.
All I'm saying is that this is a pathway to a quick, you feel me, an unfortunate death. That's all I'm saying. You have some people that you know, they decide not to continue this too far, you know, too far into their lives. They did it for a particular time, and then they quickly realize, yo, I'm not doing this no more. I don't need this type of lifestyle. I want to live a normal life. And then you have the people that'll run it until they enter the grave. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's not worth it, bro. Like, working out should be something that you just do to be healthy. Like, I don't know when we got to the everybody trying to look like their favorite anime character or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get these unrealistic physiques that you cannot get naturally. You're pumping shit that goes into animals, or some people put into our food, into your body. That's what we're doing now. This shit is crazy.
I do that because most of you, again, very clearly don't want to be an open bodybuilder.
Look
you
at his
even
legs.
need gear to look really, really good. You need to lose some fat, brother. That's probably 90% of what's wrong and what could improve your physique, facial aesthetics, and most everything. Is testosterone safe? Well, yes, in the context of a therapeutic dose, but just about nobody is taking a therapeutic dose. And there's always risk factors that compile when you start to go into super physiological ranges of anything. Someone mentions in the comments, all I heard was that I should blast away with DECA since it's not a DHT. I know this is a joke, but I forgot to mention DECA. It's not as androgenic and is super hair and skin safe. You don't even need a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor on it. Also great for collagen. I want to know where that came from. Why is it uniquely better than any other androgen, right? You see this a lot, right? Where people just like extrapolate and embellish mechanistic data that hasn't been tested in humans, nor do they understand the full complexity of it. You know, there's multiple types of collagen fibers and androgens all together. Androgen receptor activation inhibits certain synthesis of certain fibers. So you might argue that, yeah, it increases collagen synthesis, but that might mean for your tendons and ligaments, not for your skin at all, actually. Also, saying that it's super skin safe and hair safe is radical. In fact, the subreddit's God did a video on a woman who used nandrolone, and very clearly you can see it is not skin safe, hair safe, or anything.
I thought that was a dude. What? No. This is a woman?
Alone. In fact, this subreddit's God did a video on a woman who used nandrolone, and very clearly you can see it is not skin safe, hair safe, or anything of the like, even though this was the only substance that she used for that duration of time. She had all sorts of hirsutism, facial hair growth, virilization, and just about none of the positive effects what people say is like, a lot of people will say, oh, nandrolone is completely safe for your hair, it's completely safe for your skin, it's not a dihydrotestosterone derivative. When you mediate the androgen receptor, there is a certain very objective effect from doing so. A lot of people get too caught up in their heads thinking that it's somehow safe because it's mechanistically slightly different than testosterone, but it's still gonna fuck you up, brother. That moral story, how can you avoid aging on steroids? Well, you can't. So like 200 to 250 milligrams of testosterone is a really great dose for a lot of people who are willing to enhance. But again, like I said, I think 99.8% of people probably don't even need to go that far. You just need to get a diet. You need to get locked in on something, right? Like something where there is a routine and a habit built in place, and you'll probably look the way that you
supposed
want
to be
look.
fun.
Like, yes, some people are going to want more, and steroids are an intervention for that, for sure. Most people are just dissatisfied with how they are currently and want an endpoint that they're imagining for themselves quicker, and steroids is the bridge to get there instead of having to take the long way around. Ultimately, that shortcut costs a lot of things: hairline, skin health, acne, emotion.
I also believe like males go through the same thing the women be going through in the sense of, you know, when girls be thinking that their body is not good enough, right? That's that body dysmorphia shit, bro. in the gym, yeah, sometimes you may feel like, dang, my arms ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, did I get fat today, bro? Like, dang. Like, you start thinking, like, I'm not big enough. Dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you will see somebody that's on test or some shit. You're like, damn. But when I see this shit, it's like, hell nah. I don't think I could ever be on no shit like that, I'm gonna be honest. It just kind of, like, gets me back to where I was, like, once previously. I don't want to look like that. I really don't want to look like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with my physique. I feel like I look at that as more of like a stay away from that. Every time I see it, stay away from that. I don't want to be like that. Nah. But that body dysmorphia shit, yeah, it's real. I'll say I experienced that at some point, especially when I was like 163. I'm 5'10". Like 163-ish. Yeah. Nah, I was feeling way smaller than I was.
Emotional issues and instability, sleep issues, the development of neurocognitive changes due to architectural shifting in your brain, like so much more, especially with nandrolone. This is why I tend to preach against nandrolone only, is because we have plenty of data to support things like tren and nandrolone altering brain architecture more than any other androgen, which is highly concerning. So take it as you will, I guess. It's kind of my thoughts on this subject. By the way, folks, if you're wondering how I make these videos and stay super locked in and cognitively focused and talk to you without really many cuts at all, it is using methylene blue, the blue stuff. It makes your tongue blue and your mouth blue. You might actually see me in some videos with my tongue.
Okay, man.
Daily basis. If you don't want to do that, subscribing is free.
For sure. Subscribe to Buddy. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? I don't know what his channel is, but the original video is going to be down below. But if y'all like the video, like, comment, subscribe, hit that post notification button if y'all want to stay updated on the next video. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this. You feel me? Steroids, I'll say for me, never, ever. I'm going to just work out. Working out is supposed to be fun. You feel me? At least to me. And it's supposed to be a mind reliever. But I will see you guys next time. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.